Welcome back to the Independent News Network. Break free from corporate lies, get your unfiltered truth and fearless reporting. This is where real news lives. Comment down below, share, like, subscribe.
Coup, a slow coup, a soft coup, a coup d'etat, except nobody bothered to hide it. They recorded themselves. They bragged about it.
This is a 13-minute video that when we come back, I'm going to play. And the way he lays it out, it's all 100% true. And everything, every 20 seconds, what he's saying, you can look it up, and it's a whole world of information. But he explains how the whole thing operates and what it's doing. And for me, this is very personal and very existential because this is the proof. We've already laid the proof out, but it's a nice 13-minute chunk. It's quick, it's fast, it's dead on, it ties it all together. It's a hole-in-one. And people on the internet, hey, this is a participation sport, baby. I'm going to put this out live. And the globalists have said, and I know they mean business, and we've gotten the leaks. They got all the big law firms and all the big universities. They use the university faculty systems as weapon systems. They are gearing up for a purge that'll make North Korea look tame if they are able to steal the elections and get back in. This is death, battle, 100%, not a game. And so I just need people to have urgency, because I talk to high-level White House people that are hardcore and awake, but they still kind of are happy and, well, we're up here in power, and, well, yeah, it's our, and that's why I can't go to the balls. I can't go to the galas. I just can't sit around and be going to the award ceremonies and stuff. I just say to them, I don't want an award. And that big controversy, think about that, that'll cause. What I want is for you to put on the war face and go to war, because we're in a war. And people better get it. Trump gets it. Flynn gets it. I know a lot of you get it. But I'm telling you, folks, we just stirred up the hornet's nest. We just got the beachhead, okay? God almighty. And I got to tell all these people out there that are claiming they're holier than thou and Trump isn't doing a job, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you better pray he's successful, because we all depend on it.
It has all the elements of a coup, a palace coup, a slow coup, a soft coup, a coup d'etat, except nobody bothered to hide it. They recorded themselves. They bragged about it. Before January the 20th, before President Trump could even take office, U.S. aid officials secretly migrated internal government communications off official systems onto encrypted signal chats. Federal workers taking federal salaries to conceal federal work. That is not democracy. That is a mutiny via Wi-Fi. Now, they didn't wait for policy. They didn't wait for the results of an election. They didn't lie. No. They pre-organized, pre-arranged resistance. They linked with foreign NGOs. They coordinated with outside actors. They moved in secret with purpose. They did not fear voters. They feared supervision.
So the question I started with tonight is, are we currently in a domestic, homegrown color revolution? Well, I want to go back to this first chalkboard because it frames out how our own government facilitated regime change all over the world. There's a government, ultimately at the top. Support is given through organizations like USAID, the State Department, or somewhere else within the administration. Then you have a degree of separation. It's privatized. NGOs, the National Endowment for Democracy, National Democratic Institute, International Republican, all of these things. Then there's the money, the people with the real money, and that's people like George Soros through his Open Society, and Tides. We should do a show again on Tides, or just look it up on YouTube. You'll find an old show of mine on Tides. And even government-funded NGOs like Ned, again, over here. The money this time is coming from you. Excuse me. Finally, the demonstrators, the youth movements, the people who hit the streets, and a sympathetic media that will help deliver their message. I'm going to add labor unions in here because they are contributing to the organizing of these protests. It's grassroots. Okay, so this is how revolutions are set up. But what are the conditions for one to be successfully conducted? When can regime change actually be attempted? Well, State Department learned this by doing it over and over and over again. And we know it because Obama's ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul, literally wrote the book on it. This is what was required, as per Obama's administration, to topple a country. Are you ready? You need a semi-automatic regime, not fully autocratic. It has to be semi. You have to have an unpopular incumbent. You have to have a united and organized opposition. Do we have these things yet? Then you have to have the ability to quickly drive home the point that the voting results were falsified. You need the media to inform people about the falsified vote. You need an opposition capable of mobilizing thousands of demonstrators. And then you need divisions among the regimes, coercive forces like the military or the police. Sounds like we have all of those, doesn't it?
Pay attention very carefully. Listen to what I'm saying, because what we are looking at, or what I'm looking at, what we should be staring at is not politics. It is the blueprint for a slow-motion overthrow of a constitutional republic. And if you think this is theater, if you think this is just exaggeration, listen to the dialogue, because the script is in English. The actors are America's bureaucracy, and the production is funded by American taxpayers who never agreed to bankroll a domestic revolution waged against their own vote. Do you hear what I'm saying? The Office of Transition Initiatives, OTI, was designed to destabilize foreign governments suspected of autocracy. Now that machinery is being aimed at America, at us, at you, and they were proud of it. These are professional regime specialists boasting that once Trump won, they suddenly found time, networks, and moral justification to topple him from inside his own government. And that isn't oversight. That's sedition. Sedition with business cards. And when the roadmap is clear, they don't march in uniform. They appear as 10,000 separate little nonprofits, climate cells here and gender cells there, and faith-based dialogue groups, union workshops, racial justice subcommittees, mental health hubs, every aspect you can imagine, even juror training projects teaching nullification, how to acquit political allies, even when the defendant is clearly guilty. 10,000 names, one network, they wait. And when the order arrives, they call it coordination. But professionals know the word, activation. This is not organic. The thing about this is grassroots. It doesn't grow from the soil. It grows from the treasury, from grants, from university chairs, from foundations obsessed with global governance and allergic to American sovereignty. Johns Hopkins alone has received $25 billion, it is reported, in a decade. You think it's all for medical research? Hell no. They admit the goal is bridging domestic and international democracy transition. What the hell does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Translation: foreign regime change tactics now practiced at home, here. At what point does that become a crime? At what point does that transition into criminality? They even wrote their playbook. First, move communications off government servers. Second, smear whistleblowers as disinformationists. Third, activate protest networks. Fourth, weaponize DEI to link every conceivable fringe into one massive blob that looks organic but moves like a trained battalion. And then comes, even better, and then comes the closer. lawfare, quietly surround the legal system, bury investigations, train jurors to nullify verdicts. They don't need to win elections when they can win indictments. Oh, it's beautiful. And they warn us. They warn us constantly about domestic authoritarianism. Sounds good, right? They don't mean Putin. They don't mean Iran. They mean the 45th president of the United States. See, the man elected by voters that they don't trust, the man the founders prepared for with checks and balances, the man they treat like a virus while presenting themselves as the immune system. And the media, the media nod right along. They don't know. They don't really care. They're proxies. They're sock puppets. And not because it's true, but because the bureaucracy happens to serve the narrative. It gets even better. They call this saving democracy, but they're dismantling the right to choose leadership at all. First they say you voted wrong. Then they say you can't vote on this at all. And then they whisper the line used in every authoritarian takeover in history. We had to save the system from the voters. We had to save the system from the voters themselves. They're the ones that are the problem. And the next phase? They told us themselves. They want to build new socio-political economic governance systems. What the hell does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means a phrase that should chill every American alive. That's not reform. That's replacement. A shadow government built under ours using compassionate language to justify censorship, surveillance, intimidation, and controlled dissent. And when they decide there is constitutional danger, the election becomes irrelevant. The administrative state takes the wheel. The three-letter agencies become horsemen, and the definition of democracy becomes whatever scares them the least. But they fear one thing, exposure. Not rage, not slogans, precision, subpoena, retrieval of every signal chat, and encrypted directive. Full audit of every USAID partner organization. Track the contracts, track the university grants, track the training manuals. Because once this leaks off X and lands in a courtroom, their language collapses. A judge can't be gaslit. If President Trump returns with a pen and a spine to that which we know, this network can be dismantled. Records can be seized, funding cut, oversight restored. If not, a precedent will be cemented. Because the moment arresting presidents becomes normal, it becomes permanent. And then elections are simply the mask worn by the ruling class to mimic consent. That's what's happening. See, they think correction. They think you'll do nothing. They think you'll argue over slogans while they quietly write the new rule book in encrypted chats. They hope for Republican politeness. They pray for conservative fatigue. And they expect Americans to shrug their shoulders while they harden the machinery of a managed state behind the glass of philanthropy and justice. And they hope that you're going to be too busy worrying about things like, I don't know, death threats to famous conservative commentators or conservatives who are stepping down or internecine battles between conservative commentators. They want you to keep busy with that. That's a distraction. This is what I've been telling you. But we do not belong to them. This republic is older than their playbook. It's stronger than their network. And it's built on the idea that still exists, by the way, that power answers to the citizen, not the donor. Voters don't need approval to defend their own voice. They only need courage. And history has never cared about the timid. Tyranny does not frighten me. shouldn't frighten you. Cowardice does. The next 100 days may decide the next 100 years. And the choice is not subtle. We will either surrender to a network of nonprofits or defend our constitutional republic. Because votes mean nothing when the people counting them believe they work for someone higher than the voter. This isn't democracy. This is rule without consent. And that, my friend, is exactly what our founders warned us about. So now it is staring us in the face. What are we going to do about it, my friends? What are we going to do? We're going to arm ourselves with the truth. We're going to pay attention and focus, and we're not going to let them do it to us. You understand this? We are not going to be taken over by these people, period.
I've always liked Lionel and respected him. That was a hole-in-one.
Well, there's some food for thought for you guys. Thanks for watching Independent News, your source for unfiltered truth. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and hit that damn bell. Stay independent.